What's going on, y'all? TheBrandonBrownson here with another Five Nights at Freddy's wish list. This time we are going to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So, there's a lot of stuff that I could totally repeat from my first Five Nights at Freddy's wish list, which was for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But instead of repeating all that stuff, I'll just direct you guys to the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wish list. There will be an annotation somewhere around here. Just like the last one, I really didn't script any of this. I wrote down a few ideas, and I'm sure that this one's going to be quite a bit shorter than the last one, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. First of all, this is a suggestion I'm still seeing all over the place that I despise, so I want to talk about this first. No free roam. First of all, it's impossible for there to be free roam in this game because the engine that Scott uses does not allow it. The engine that Scott uses is a bunch of GIFs and JPEGs and still images and it can't be done. It physically cannot be done in the engine. Second of all, free roam would completely kill the vibe of the game. A huge chunk of the appeal, at least for me, and I think it's safe to say for a lot of people, is that you are totally defenseless. Your only defense are a couple doors in the first one, and a flashlight in the second one. Well, and the Freddy head in the second one too, but you know what I mean. To give you the ability to run away would give you a lot more confidence, a lot more power, if you will, and a huge chunk of the appeal of the game is that you're completely powerless. So to anyone who wants free roam, please, go download Gary's mod. There is free roam mode in Gary's mod. The second item on my list is another thing I don't want to see, and that's another prequel. A lot of people want for the next game to take place in the original Fredbear Family Diner, and I can understand why, but I personally do not want to see it. I want to see the next chapter of the story, and that's because it's going to be the final chapter of the story. Scott Cawthon has gone on record and said that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 will probably be the last Five Nights at Freddy's game, and I want story finality. The first two games presented a lot of questions, which is really good, but if this is going to be the final game, I'd really like to have some answers. Who is the purple guy? Why are the animatronics evil? Who is behind the bite of 87? It's really fun to theorize about all this stuff, but if this is going to be the final game, I'd really like to have the answers to that, and I think a lot of players would like to have the answers to those questions as well. As a result of that, I'd like to see some heavy emphasis on story in this one. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 did a really good job of painting a story throughout the entirety of the game, and I'd like to see that expanded on at Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, since the phone guy is dead, and as I said, I don't want another prequel, it's going to be kind of really interesting seeing how they pull this off. But I have more than enough faith in Scott Cawthon. Another big thing, and this is just personal preference, is I'd like to see a bit of a different location. Having the game take place in different versions of Freddy Fazbear's was really cool, but for the final game, I'd like to see a bit more. There's this popular fan image going around showing Five Nights at Freddy's 3 happening at an amusement park, and personally, I really like that. I'm not going to go too in detail since I talked about it in my Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wishlist, but I think that an amusement park would be a really good setting for this game. Or possibly, since it's going to be the final game, why not have more than one location? Maybe you can do it half prequel, half sequel, instead of Five Nights have 10, 5 nights in each place. I know this seems like kind of a tall order, but if this is going to be the final game, I'd really like it if Scott went all out. Of course, something like that would take a really long time to develop, which is my next thing. I want Scott to take his time with this. Don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to have the game sooner rather than later, but again, if this is going to be the final game, I want it to be the best it can be, meaning that I am more than okay with Scott taking a few extra months. I'd like to see the game out toward the end of the summer, but if it takes him the whole year, and the finished product is worth it, I would be so okay with that. Now this is a suggestion I saw on the Steam forums, but this is what I thought was really cool. So, with the first game, the gimmick was that you had the doors. In the second game, the gimmick was that you had no doors, but you had the Freddy head and the flashlight. However, in both games, you only have to worry about your left, your right, and eventually your middle. What if you had to worry about the full 360? The suggestion I saw suggested that you are smack dab in the middle of whatever location you're in. The animatronics can come at you left and right, but they can also charge you from front on, and they can sneak up behind you. Meaning that not only do you have to frantically check the cameras, but you have to check the full 360 degrees around you. I think that this is an absolutely brilliant idea that raises the stakes even more and would make the game terrifying again. My final suggestion has to do with the animatronics themselves. So, my Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wishlist video, I wanted more animatronics, and we got more animatronics. In fact, some people say we got too many animatronics. Now, there's a theory going around that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is only going to have one animatronic, and personally, I do not think that this is the way to go. I would like to see anywhere between 6 and 8 animatronics in this game. Obviously, you have Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie, and probably Golden Freddy as well, so that's 5. You still have room for anywhere between 1 and 3 more animatronics. Now, a lot of people are probably going to say, fuck, please don't put BB back in the game, but I wouldn't mind having BB back in the game. However, I would like to see at least one new animatronic in this game. Maybe Scott can get a hold of the guy who made the cat. You know, the popular cat fan art of the really creepy looking fan animatronic. Fanimatronic? Can we call them Fanimatronics? Anyways, that about does it for my Five Nights at Freddy's 3 wishlist. Down there in the comments, let me know, what do you want to see from Five Nights at Freddy's 3? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Let's go ahead and have a discussion down there. That said, if you're gonna comment, please don't be a dick. I don't want to see any flame wars down there, and I do reserve the right to block people. Now, down there in the description, as always, check out all those sexy links. Join the Chameleon Couch Productions Facebook fan group. Download my new album 100% for free. If you have the money, go ahead and pay a little bit for the album, maybe pick up a t-shirt. Like me on all the social media sites, check out all those other sexy channels down there, but hey, most importantly, remember to like, comment, subscribe. TheBrandonBrownson, signing out.